Hi everyone, my name is Kin and welcome to the BIM Academy. Today we'll be covering the module Advanced Documentation Sets. This chapter explains how you can add more information and modifications to your sheets and schedules to meet your drawing criteria. This includes using templates to customize and suit your generated drawings. How to manage sheets and drawings. First, let's open the following file, main.dwg. The Project Browser panel should display a set of 14 sections, 7 sheets, and 5 models. Inside the project folder, you will find an extra file called office.businesslib. This file links together all these drawings and sheets. In the following sections, we will mostly use the project browser to navigate and manage our project and the associated documentation. To check your generated drawing, first, go to your sheets and double-click A100. Note that if your viewport is not set to update in background, make sure to update your drawings to see the latest changes. Alternatively, you can just highlight the viewport and use the quad to do a BIM section update. The floor plan displays the cut-through representation of walls, windows, doors, etc. Wall plies are shown with their respective hatch patterns and colors, as well as the furniture symbols. We'll discuss all these in detail, how these different elements are created in the next steps of this module. At the bottom of the project browser, you should see a blue plus icon. This allows you to add a new sheet or new subset. Click on New Sheet. Right-click the sheet and select Sheet Properties. I'm going to rename this sheet to be called Visuals, number A800. Click OK to acknowledge. Now with new sheets and placeholders set up, you can next place section views, schedules, images, or any other applicable information to the drawing pack. V22 now supports the hosting and running of scripts in the project browser. One quick and semi-automated workflow using scripts that users might find it useful is to generate and export 3D views out of BricsCAD into a PNG image. The image can later be placed onto the sheet within the sheet set as part of the drawing pack. Let's return to the main.dwg. Hover over the Look From cube and select the top front right direction. Right-click the cube to access more controls. Go on to View and hit New. Now I can start creating a view based on this angle. Hit Save and name the view from Southeast. Hit Enter to confirm. Now go on to Files and expand the script folder. You should find the view2png.list file present. This script is shipped with BricsCAD V22 and it's designed to export a screenshot of your saved views from your model file. Those images will be in PNG format and will be named based on your view names and saved in an automatically created folder called Images. Right-click the script and select Load Script. This will run the script automatically. Refresh the project browser by clicking on the menu and select Refresh. You should now see those .png images as described above. So how do we put views on sheets? Return to Sheets and double-click A800. Now return to the files in the project folder to access your images. Right-click View from Southeast.png and hit Attach Image. To place the image, simply click into the paper space. and scale to your desired scale. Left click to confirm, and click once more to acknowledge a rotation angle of 0 degrees. This could be done the same for other sections and drawings. Return to the sections and views in the project browser, and you should find a new view called View from SE under 3D View. You can place that view on the current sheet, or any other sections that have already been created to set up to support the information on the current sheet. Similarly, for drawings, such as floor plans, you can now right-click them and select Generate on Current Sheet to bring them onto your current paper space drawing that you've. To understand the layers created during section generation, let's take a look at the Layers panel. You'll find that an entire set of layers was created to structure this drawing, and you can find 3 main prefixes within these layers: background, boundary, and fill. To explain these groups, let me open up this model where I have 2 boxes in green color and red color. The red box is under the layer 1, whereas the green box is under the layer 0. I have a section plane cutting through simply the green box, but not the red one. If I were to open the BIM section model, you see that my resulting section drawing has various layers created for both the green and the red object. For the red, layer 1, we only have a background underscore layer 1 layer. This background layer simply shows the elevation of the box. Whereas for the green box layer 0, we have fill, background, and also boundary. The background layer 0 has the same concept as the one in red, which shows the elevation. If I turn it off, it doesn't seem like there is any effect at all because it is sharing the same line with boundary underscore layer 0. What boundary underscore layer 0 does is it essentially encompasses or embraces the hatches found in fill underscore layer 0. This logic is extended when a physical material is assigned to an object. So let's return to A100. And we can take a look at the composition panels. If I double click onto a composition, for instance, cavity wall back, you realize this composition consists of several plies, each of their own material. Each physical material is associated with a hatch pattern, which would be shown when creating a floor plan or vertical section. When a physical material or composition is applied to an object, this material name will override the name of the layer which the object is on when creating the fill, boundary, and background layers. So for instance, instead of creating fill underscore wall, it will create the layers fill underscore back bricks. Let me show you what I mean. If I go onto the layers panel, and if I find fill underscore back brick, it should turn off when I turn off this light bulb. And this is the same case if I do the same for fill underscore front brick. For objects without composition, the colors of the fill, background, and boundary layers will be copied from the layer in the 3D model. You can find all these default colors and line weights set by a template found in your support folder. Simply hit support folder in your command line. go on to BIM, Sections, and navigate to section settings.dwg. Go into the Drawing Explorer and you'll find all the default materials and their colors. Thus, it's possible to create your own templates for material colors. Tagging building elements. The command BIM tag allows you to add tags on section results in paper space. You can either do it automatically or manually on selected entities. Let's do it manually in this case, and make sure to snap on the entity that you wish to tag. The value on this M leader is giving me WT1. That's because in the main building, it's reading off the wall type value, WT1. To learn more about multi-leaders and what they show, go on to M leader style. And you'll be brought into the Drawing Explorer under M leader styles tab. This _ wall type style has been the one that was selected earlier, and this gives us a preview of what it will look like. We'll change the text style so that it contains a different information with a different appearance. First, we can change the type from straight to none, turning off the M leader. Now you don't have a line connecting the building element to the tag itself. In the Content tab, you'll see that the source block is called Wall Tag. Now we will have to edit this _ wall tag block. So let's leave the Drawing Explorer and go on to Edit. As it's a block that's been loaded into this drawing, we will have to find the _ wall tag and edit it. This is an attribute definition, and that was the one that pointed to the wall type value. So in the Properties panel, change the tag value from wall type to composition. You can further adjust the position of where this text should start or how it should be justified. For now, let's leave it like this to be justified in the middle and center. Also, we'd like to add another attribute definition. So let's copy one down and name it quantity and thickness. I'll next remove the rectangle, and with this done, I'll do a save block and return to A100. Now this has already been updated, but it's not showing the right values. So what we can do is to highlight the viewport and update sections. You should now see the value updated. With this now set, you can start to tag the rest of the drawings using the same M leader tag. They now display the composition name and also the thickness. The box in the leader connecting it to the building element should no longer appear too. Like before, all these tag settings are stored under support folder. So go onto your support folder, BIM, Sections, and double click onto section tag. In the section tag, it contains all the styles that you would need, and of course the blocks as well, where all these would be loaded in. Adding dimensions via BIM Dimension. The command BIM Dimension allows you to semi-automate dimension placing on selected entities in the viewports on paper space, and it's based on your custom rules. For example, let's do a setting up drawing, just documenting the dimensions between walls. In the same drawing, when we reach out to the BIM Dimension tab, a separate dialog pops out, which gives you more control of what this tool can do. You can first select all the entities that you like to dimension, but because I'm selecting multiple different types of entities, I need to filter them out accordingly. So hit filter, and over here type BIM equals to wall. Apply the current selection, and instantly you see it narrows down my selection to just wall types. I can quickly place dimensions right now, where in my first control on the hotkey assistant, it allows me to dimension the maximum extent of my selection. If I cycle through my selection points, you can see the difference in what I'm trying to dimension. So over here, I'm dimensioning including thickness of walls, and over here, dimensioning including wall openings. Once you're happy, give it a click, and now you are dimensioning it and placing the numbers onto your paper space. Alternatively, once you have your filter rules set out, you can select multiple elements and hit dimension only applies with function equals the structure. Make sure you reapply the filter and place dimensions. So what this does now is that it dimensions all the way to the structural ply. The third option in the hotkey selection allows you to dimension the structural opening to the nearest structural ply. Like before, simply click and you are now placing the dimensions onto your paper space. Understanding the created BRX_2D layers. So in this drawing with the generated 2D sections, let's open up the layers panel. If I type BRX in the search bar, you'll find that there are a couple of so-called BRX_2D layers. We've already met them in the basic drawing documentation chapter, but we'll explore them further here. Note that these objects on BRX_2D layers will only be displayed in the section result if the section plane is parallel to these objects. You can create your own BRX_2D layers in custom objects so long as they have the correct syntax. BRX_2D_ or BRX_2D plus_ as a prefix. Let's open a new drawing, main_building.twg. Activate the horizontal floor plan section, main floor 0, by double-clicking it. In this room, let's highlight one of these chairs, furniture_school chair, and open a copy using the quad. So in this model, you can see there is a layer called BRX_2D_symbols layer. And if I turn this on, this is a layer containing polylines and some splines. Therefore, when generating 2D sections, this chair is represented by those polylines and splines on this BRX_2D_symbols layer, rather than a simple representation of its entire solid 3D geometry. Let's change the representation of the chair to your standard, and make sure that your symbolic representation is on the BRX_2D_symbols layer, and to not use the regular lines but polylines, as those will not be displayed upon section generation. For this instance, I'll simply draw a cross on this chair and make sure that these lines fall under the right layer. Once done, I'll go to my components panel and under finishing elements to create a new component. Hit create to save it in the library. Let's return to the main building.twg and simply replace this chair with the one we just created. Save this model. Return to A100. And if we update this viewport, we should see the updated graphics come in. Now you see that the latest BRX_2D_symbol layer has changed to its new representation. Updating section patch patterns. When changes are made in the 3D drawing, these changes can be easily updated in the 2D section result. Let's take this drawing, for example, A100, and check out the created plan view on main floor 0. If we zoom in at this corner, you'll realize that there are several different hatch patterns in this section. Let's go to the main building.twg. Let's go back to this corner and go on to the compositions panel. In this case, let's double click on cavity wall back. Double click the hatch pattern for back breaks, and the appearance tab under section, change it to ANSI 33. You can even change the scale if you want to, but in this instance, we'll just keep it like this. Click OK to acknowledge the changes, and hit save to see the latest result. Let's return to A100 and update the viewport. You should see the changes you made in the 3D model being reflected on this 2D section. And now the hatch pattern of this facing brick is updated to ANSI 33 instead of the default hatch pattern. How to insert a title block property and sheet list table. So staying on the same drawing A100.twg, let's define some project properties in the project browser under info. Here you can start to populate all these values. So let's take this for example. Once done, simply hit RE, and you should see the values update in your title block. Now let's insert a sheet list table. A sheet list table can be inserted on any sheet of the sheet set. So go onto your sheet sets panel and choose sheet list table in the context menu by right clicking it. Now simply click into the paper space, and again, to generate the values, hit Regen. You should see the values updated in the sheet list table name. Note that if you want to store the title block for future drawings with the sheet list table, what you can do is to add it into the .dwt template file. You can further adjust the size of the table and its columns, etc. to suit your title block. Type plan. So you can import type plan templates shared from your design team, which you can apply to selected viewports on the sheets afterwards. These templates are helpful to ensure certain graphic standards are applied uniformly across different sets of drawings and across other projects, based on your desired entities of BIM properties and their values. It can also be useful to check if the 3D model elements and its metadata have been correctly created. For this training exercise, we'll import pre-created type plan templates. These templates will include external element strategy, installation line strategy, and area plans. Importing type plan templates. Again, keeping onto A100.dwg, click to select Project Browser, and make sure you are on the tab Files. Click the blue plus icon at the bottom of the panel and select Import Type Plan. If you don't see the file extensions of the .tv, make sure you are pointed to the right exercise folder and select the folders with the .tv extension. As you do it, you'll realize that the type plan templates are simply loaded into the project browser. You'll also find that these folders are now stored inside your project folder under a new type plans folder. Double-clicking them will open those folders in the Windows Explorer, where you will find individual settings.dwg and .json files for both drawing and tag customizations. It is strictly not advised to modify these files, including renaming them, as this will cause the project browser to misbehave. On the same drawing, click the Properties panel and select this viewport. You will notice that there is a drawing customization value over here, where you can simply click the drop down and select the type plan template that you wish to have it activated here. Once you're happy, simply update the section, and you should see a refreshed viewport with the graphical changes as per your drawing customization settings. So in this instance, it's an external element strategy where it highlights the elements that contain the external parameter, an external door, external walls, etc. If we cycle through the other strategies, you'll find that they respond based on the rules and parameters set in the template. In this instance, it's an installation line strategy, which simply highlights all the installation to make sure that you have a well insulated and a coherent installation line across your building. For the last template, which is the area plan, it simply shows how the spaces are distributed, bigger areas over a certain meter square footage, etc., will show in green. The one in the middle will be in blue, and the smallest area to be hatched in brown. So type plan templates are not restricted to plan drawings only. They can be used on any BIM viewport subject to the contents. Okay, that's it for this module. I hope you've enjoyed it, and thank you for watching the BIM Academy.